So I had a conversation with somebody once after they suffered a loss, and they said to me, "What God has for me is for me." And when they made that statement, it was interesting to me because they actually used that statement to reject any responsibility. And it's so interesting to me how we will say what God has for me with so much confidence, so much pride, to reject our responsibility or the role that we play in partnering with God in the things that God give us. Because the truth of the matter is that while it is true that what God has for you is for you, that does not mean that we should not steward what God has placed in our possession. Because when God gives you something, we all have a responsibility to steward it well. And I think oftentimes that when we lose things, we want to cop out by making that statement so that we won't have to be accountable for the role we played in what we lost. We seem to live with the assumption that just because something didn't work out or just because we lost it, that it means that it was not for us. And while sometimes that is true, that is not always necessarily the case because God can place something in your possession, but you can mishandle it. You can actually find yourself not stewarding it well. You're not accepting your responsibility. You're not being accountable. And so you walk away feeling great saying, what God has for me is for me. And so the problem is that now the future version of yourself is suffering because you're not stewarding well what God has placed in your possession today. And just maybe we should take a moment to reflect about the things that we've lost and ask ourselves, did I actually steward it well? Was I humble enough to do what God wanted me to do with it? Because pride is an inner posture that sometimes causes us to desire outcomes without accepting the responsibility for the outcome we desire. So what changes are we going to make in our life? And stop copping out saying what God has for me is for me. Because while that is true, God is looking for you to be responsible and steward well what he's given you. God bless you.